You, right now, listening to this video, might be winning a large chunk of silver for free. 2 of you, actually, so your chances just doubled. All you have to do is click one button. Subscribe. Once we hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to jump out of an airplane and announce the 2 winners mid-flight with a GoPro attached to my helmet so you could watch it all unfold. I'm going skydiving in celebration of 100,000 subscribers so you can celebrate winning while I'm literally falling out of the sky, hopefully not to my death. Make sure you don't miss it because this will be a beautifully horrific sight to see.
Connection established.
This week's specials at Miles Franklin are 1 ounce silver maples, $3.39 over spot, 1 ounce palladium bars, $119 over spot, gold Queen Elizabeth sovereigns, $26.99 over melt, plus a massive inventory, all great prices. Email me or call me, slayer@milesfranklin.com. I will hook you up. I want you to answer a question in the comment section below and really think about this question. Can the price of silver rise to $100? Because it's easy to say yes or no, but giving context of why you're answering this question in a certain manner means the most. Anyone could say, yeah, silver's going to reach $10 million tomorrow. But if I don't explain why I'm answering the question that way, I'm not saying much. So I would love for you to say why or how or even the time frame of this potential possibility. And I'm curious how investinghaven.com answers this question as well. I obviously will be giving my thoughts later on in the video, so make sure you stick around because I'm going to break this question down in a lot of different ways. It is an important question, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's talk about $100 silver. Silver can rise to $100 this decade, although it will need exceptional market conditions. The silver price will eventually rise to $100, but not in 2024 or in 2025. See, I'm glad that they mentioned that because there is a lot of gray area in terms of people using specific keywords. Like if I made a video titled silver's going to quote unquote explode soon, or silver will skyrocket soon, or I could even say silver will hit $100 soon. The word soon could mean next week for somebody. For someone else, soon could be in the next year, but maybe I mean soon as in the next 2 or 3 years. Because, you know, someone who's been stacking for 10 plus years, the next 2-3 years is still considered soon. But for someone who just started, soon might mean a couple months. So they're investing off of this misleading expectation, which leads to resentments and terrible decision making because they're always thinking, oh, I got to buy it right now because it's about to explode right around the corner. This is the last time I'm going to be able to buy silver for $24. I better hurry up and get it right now, spending 75% of your paycheck, then putting yourself in terrible situations when in reality, they still have a few years to accumulate. Now you can see why silver pumpers could be so dangerous and why it is extremely important to understand that silver is not going to explode tomorrow. And you don't want it to, even if you have been buying it for a while, because even if it exploded tomorrow, it would not stay there. That's extreme overbought. Let's not use tomorrow. I'm not meaning that literally, it's more rhetorically, but let's say $100 silver by November 2024. Let's say the election time. Silver, there's a lot of controversy, a lot of stuff. Silver skyrockets to $100. It will not stay there. It will crash. Confidently can say that because that is extreme overbought territory. Just like Bitcoin in 2016 when it skyrocketed from like $800 to $16,000 in a few months. And look what happened. It took years upon years upon years to recover. For a market to rise and to stay at these high prices, for silver to stay at $100, it would need to go up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little more, down a little more, up a little more, and it's a gradual incline, not just a straight up skyrocketing tower, because then there's no price stability being built. That's not good. A correction is actually correct. You need it to go back down after it reaches $26. You need it to go back down after it reaches $30, or else there's no foundation or stability where the price is being built, and it will crash. And within 8-9 months, that's still too fast if we're talking about $100 silver. So anyways, that's why I'm glad that they mentioned it won't happen in 2024 or 2025. You guys have heard me talk about silver exploding. And when I say exploding, I mean triple digits. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think it will happen in the year 2026, right? Late 2025, 2026. I think by then, the market conditions, like they mentioned, will be realistic enough. I think we'll be deep enough into the silver shortage. I think the dollar will be at a point where this is realistic for it to happen. I think the other environmental factors, especially geopolitically, I think the perfect scenario, the stars will be aligned enough to where $100 silver is not out of the realm of impossibility in the year 2026. That's my opinion. I've been saying that for years now. By 2026, right? I've never been saying silver is going to explode to $100 in a couple of months. No, I've never said that. That is extremely misleading. That is dangerous. I've never thought that. And if anyone has told you that, then do not listen to them, because that means they probably have ulterior motives for you to think that. So let's dive into this. And by the way, this article was written 3 days ago on March 3rd, 2024. The price of silver will likely rise to $100, where it will enter a major top. That might happen in the time frame 2026, 2027, but certainly not in 2024, 2025. Silver will require exceptional market conditions like rising inflation or an extreme silver shortage, which are both happening, and that is a fact. That is not speculation or assumption. That is a fact. But to be so certain, that is a little worrying as well, because there are a lot of unknown variables. Now, to say that it won't happen, in a couple of months, I could confidently say that. But to say it definitely will not happen in 2025, to say it certainly will not, like it says, that could be a little dangerous as well. It's a double-edged sword, because times are crazy right now. We don't even know if the dollar will exist in the year 2025, yet alone by the end of the year this year. And what would that do to the price? So if you're going to come from the perspective of, yes, if the dollar does still survive and things are still somewhat similar in today's day and age where there's no major changes, then yes, it probably won't in 2025. But is there a chance where there's a huge global reset, or things keep progressing faster and faster and faster, this logarithmic decay like Andy Schectman talks about, where that could affect silver's price next year to actually push it to $100, which it really wouldn't be silver's price rising to $100. It would be the dollar losing purchasing power so much that it's actually the dollar tanking, and that in return is affecting spot price. But regardless, to say certainly not in 2024, 2025, when they say that, think of it as if the economy somewhat stays the same as it is right now with no major influences at play. And then I can agree with it. So in all of our silver forecasting is biased on historical data. So that's them explaining, like if things are relatively the same, then historically it does show that this would or could happen by then. So market correlations and chart readings. It's a data-driven way to analyze precious metals in the exact same way we successfully analyze our other markets. So just to be clear, the team is unbiased, no silver perma bulls over here. And I'm glad they mentioned that, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, these guys are just pumping silver. But this is investinghaven.com. They talk about stocks, commodities, lithium, crypto news, forecasts, miners. I mean, they talk about it all. It's not silver solely. So they're just looking at data, and if the data showed otherwise, if it showed that silver is most likely going to be $20 by the year 2025, 2026, they would have posted that article. An important quote from the article mentioned above, which is, when exactly will the price of silver start to rally to 50? So this quote is, to be honest, our viewpoint is that all conditions are in place for silver to run its two higher targets, $34.70 and $50. The question why silver is not trading at those levels is a good question to ask. The silver manipulation theme comes up as an answer. Concurrently, the other answer that comes up is opportunity. If an asset is undervalued, it usually is a matter of time until it is rebalancing act occurs. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If silver is undervalued right now, then why wouldn't you be taking advantage of that? If we know that the market is manipulated and silver's price is being held down, and it is only a matter of time until that undervalued, corruption, that price manipulation will rebalance, then why wouldn't you take advantage of it right now when it's $23, $24? Why wait until it rebalances and then you have to pay a higher price? Which most people will do. Most people will be buying silver when it's $50, $60. Most people will buy gold when it's $2,000 plus. But if gold was $900 right now and silver was $24, nobody would be touching gold with a 10-foot pole, even though gold would be undervalued compared to silver. Hear what I just said? Gold would be undervalued compared to silver, but people like to invest into things when they're at all-time highs because that's confirmation and validation. They're seeing the proof in the pudding. Oh, it's up. It's in the green. It's doing great. So let me get it. No, that's too late. You want to get in before the curve. You want to buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, hope it goes higher. So when I talk about silver's price being undervalued compared to gold, or gold being overvalued compared to silver, that's what I'm talking about. Not to the dollar. I'm comparing the two metals between themselves. So with that said, we will take a big picture viewpoint in this article. So right now, silver price to $100. Here's the summary. We firmly believe that silver will rally to $50 in the not too distant future. All data point outlined in this article and other articles published in this silver section confirms this in a very objective way. So they go over CPI is not reflected in silver's price. A delayed upward move of silver in U.S. dollar terms needs to bring the historical CPI/silver correlation in sync. However, a silver move to $100 requires extreme conditions. These three conditions would be an extreme silver shortage, which is happening. Number two, a series of rate cuts by policymakers and hyperinflation. A combination of these three conditions may be a catalyst to move silver past $50. Now, a current silver shortage may become extreme, in which this could not only move to $50, but may exceed it. A lot of people look at the micro and not the macro. They talk about silver prices or silver is not going to do anything, and they look at it specifically or solely with just the monetary side of things. They're comparing it with gold. Like, they're not looking at the fundamentals, the supply disruptions or the shortage as any part of its opportunity. And that's why a lot of those people will only buy gold or they will buy gold and silver, but they will categorize them as the same. They're not looking at silver's true potential, which is the fundamentals beyond gold, right? They're looking at CPI data to talk about inflation and all that when they're talking about silver. And then those are the same people that a lot of times don't see its true potential. Like when you say $50 silver or anything above that, they'll laugh because they're looking at it, they're comparing it with gold. They're not looking at this completely other side of silver where gold has no place being in, which it truly doesn't. Gold is not used in technology as much, not even close. So the historical silver price chart does not necessarily tell us whether silver will go to $100. It certainly does not invalidate the silver to $100 thesis. On the contrary, the point is silver's historical chart is not sufficient to confirm a move to $100. So then they go into price correlation with CPI. It gets really interesting when we consider the impact of CPI data on the price of silver. So when taking inflation into account and adjusting the gold price for CPI index, it gets clear how gold is a preservation of wealth and purchasing power. The historical CPI adjusted gold price looks very different compared to the nominal gold price. It looks stable in a wide range, not trending. That's what capital preservation of wealth should look like. And that's why I talk about with the gold, it's more of a store of value. That's where you put your money, is like in a vault. It's like a time capsule. Silver has opportunity on top of that. They both play hand in hand. There's no wrong way, you know. But anyways, here's silver priced to $100, potential catalyst. Talk about an extreme silver shortage. It's not extreme, not yet, but it might become extreme. And if you look at the last 4 years, we've been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of ounces in the red. The last 2 years, we had record-breaking supply deficits, and we see this diminishing supply. Production of silver is tanking. Mexico's silver production has been in the red this year, or last year was in the red at rates that is extremely alarming, with demand expecting to keep rising well above 1 billion ounces. And we see record-breaking supply deficits last year, this year, and they're predicting next year as well. That is an extreme shortage, especially looking at how much silver we're going to need. So, not to say that itself is where all of this opportunity comes from, because there's also other factors. It's insane to think how many different things silver has going for it. So anyways, and like they say right here, here's the timing of $100 silver. So 1, silver rallies to $50. It's a high certainty outcome. It may happen in 2024 or 2025, not later, is what all data points outlined in this article suggest. And then 2, the big run of $100 requires extreme conditions, like an extreme silver shortage or a series of rate cuts or hyperinflation or combination. Those conditions are not visible, not yet, with the only exception being silver shortage. It is only possible to say that a silver rally to $100 is unlikely to happen in 2024 or 2025 unless the silver shortage is completely out of hand, which is not that crazy to look at when you see the numbers. So here's some frequently asked questions about silver, about $100 silver. Will it ever move to $100? The probability of silver to move to $50 is very high. However, $100 silver is exceptional, would require exceptional conditions. When? And they talk about conditions appearing like hyperinflation or an extreme silver shortage. Rate cuts by Fed will push it to 100, will possibly be able to move it to $100. The most imminent trend of the 3 is developing silver shortage, which might get out of hand to push silver above 50. And then, is it a good thing if silver does move to $100? Frankly, we're not sure we want to be living in a world in which silver explodes to $100 unless it is because of an extreme shortage. And that's a good point. If silver does get to those prices, what is the world going to look like? You know, it might be bittersweet. At what cost? You make a pretty penny, but at what cost? Because if we're talking about silver rising for the reasons of CPI interest rate cuts and rate hikes and hyperinflation and and a global shortage of which we need the silver to go green and for solar panels, you could see why, if the conditions become so bad, so terrible that that's going to push silver's price up, then what is the world looking like on a day-to-day basis for that to occur? And yes, you might be extremely wealthy, but life might be horrible. But that's not, but that's exactly why we need to invest into it, because we know where things are headed. It's a given obvious, just take a look around. But then we're preparing for it. So at least we will be financially stable or have some wealth, preserving our hard-earned dollars while the world burns. And yes, times are going to suck, but at least we will have saved our wealth. Right? At least we will be able to provide for our family, have a safety net, while everyone else will be genuinely screwed in more ways than just financially. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's a long article. I liked it, though. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about $100 silver and the possibility of this happening. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys later today. Peace.